Bonjour, bonsoir, ça dépend de côté où vous regardez télémarcheuse comme nous toujours dit. Eh bien, c'est pas décontent, nous content, puisque nous en pile monde commence à prêler nous, puisque vous connaissez nous sur Chanel 18.3, eh bien, nous venons changer Chanel, qu'on y a nous sur 38.3. Eh bien, faut me dire, me satisfait, moi commencer satisfait avec nous, parce que moi, que depuis nous 10 à la radio, nous connaissons notre match à Bato. Depuis Bato annoncé la radio, et puis tout le monde change Chanel, et puis nous brancher sur 38.3. Mais il faut nous songer tout. Télévision, il y a des gens qui ne peuvent pas prendre Chanel là, mais c'est ça fait nous mettre sur le coup. Au courant, et bon, il y a des gens qui disent Bato, il y a des gens qui disent Bato, ou comment c'est Chanel grand et oui, côté nous gagne quoi pour payer Internet, pour me bagaille. Non, Internet là pas cher, Internet là son petit casque oublié, ok? Et vous doit gagner un petit Internet, ou pas qu'à comprendre, ou pas qu'à connaître comment pour prendre au courant la caillou, et bien sur un petit monde. Qui la caillou, on est jeune, toujours l'internet, et bien, ils sont capables et pour prendre télémasters. Parce qu'il y a des gens qui ne peuvent pas prendre télémasters et avec antenne. Comme moi, je dit nous semaine dernière, que cette antenne, nous allons faire un clip spécial pour nous montrer comment on est capable de prendre Chanel là avec cette antenne. Puisque nous avons presque 3 ans, oui, là, 3 ans, et avec télémaster, nous avons boulé. Mais nous connaissons pile de monde qui toujours pas qu'à prendre télévision. Alors, toujours dit nous, comme nous téléphone nous toujours sur l'écran, 24 sur 24, nous sommes capables toujours de les moins, et quelque chose à côté nous habiter, les moins, dit bateau, comme on est capable de faire prendre Chanel là. Et continuer les moins, mais ça, j'aime toujours dire nous, et nous, elle est pas pour ça raison qui fait que moi, quitter le téléphone sur l'écran, pour nous capables de prendre contact avec Bato. Ça est Bato pas nous lié. Eh bien, c'est ça, la télévision a avancé, belle image, belle programmation. Nous connaissons télémarché depuis 3 ans et je ne vais pas cacher dire si nous ne pas la télévision, si nous ne pas prendre service dans mes business qui nous réclament, nous ne pouvons pas camper depuis 3 ans. Parce que nous avons pile bill. Ouais, nous camper, c'est grâce à nous-mêmes. Mais continuer à prendre service avec réclame que nous avons passé dans la télévision, ouais, pour nous capables. Pour que les gens capables d'aller puis devant, pour nous capables de faire plus de temps dans Chanel là. Eh bien, au niveau des programmations, nous connaissons, bon, c'est celle télémasseuse seulement, ça c'est nous qui avons une programmation comme ça. Nous avons 4 éditions nouvelles, matin 6h du matin, nous avons une nouvelle midi, nous avons une nouvelle 5h et une nouvelle 10h du soir. Alors, nous connaissons in between, nous avons d'abord, nous avons une émission évangélique, nous connaissons pas négocier avec l'émission évangélique, mais après ça, parfois, nous avons une émission variété, nous sommes capables de gagner Gabi Show, nous avons un show démocratie, Mazora, et puis nous avons rigolo. Ouais, bon, pour les points lui-même, nous connaissons, nous pas négocier les points, nous. Ça, c'est tout le temps. Depuis les points, faire un jour, pas paraître. Bon, plutôt, je vais parce que nous avons tellement aimé le point, so, nous ne pouvons pas le point. So, nous avons le point matin, nous avons le point après-midi. Et ensuite, nous connaissons Jean Dinois, et ça qui est important pour nous, nous connaissons que nous avons plusieurs shows qui apparaissent dans Télémaster, nous déjà, ouais. Nous avons Marie, Carmel, et même qui paraît avec cocktail. Cocktail là, c'est chaque vendredi, avec un mardi que le cocktail passé. Et puis nous avons 4 shows sur Haïti, et sport. Nous avons sport ensemble avec Dumanès. Après ça, nous avons Télémarcheuse Magazine ensemble avec Kimberly. Haïti, coin des artistes, toujours avec Kimberly. 2 mondes, ça, il y a la Radio Métropole, c'est 2 mondes qui sont réellement connus en Haïti, qui dans toute grosse télévision, et bien qui avec Télémarcheuse. C'est-à-dire que nous-mêmes dans Télémarcheuse, nous travaillons, nous avons porté bon bagage pour eux. Et grand pile dépense, oui, grand pile dépense. Et grand pile dépense parce que et télévision, pas qu'à faire sans production est obligée, vraiment vrai, à dépenser pour apporter bon bagage by monde. C'est ça. Eh bien, nous connaissons bien ça, et nous sommes parlé avec le premier chemin, par la veine, Bato, eh bien, pour petit moun yo, et moun capre les mieux, capre les mandem côté Timax, côté Mona, côté Intel, côté ici, eh bien, semaine ça, on va faire mes bouches nous. On va faire mes bouches nous, tout le monde capre dans la rue, côté madame moi. On quitte ça, nous voyons est-ce que ça peut faire. Eh bien, c'est ça. Eh bien, nous connaissons pas la veine, son nouveau show qui paraît avec Bato, son show relax, son show plaisir, comédie, musique, mélangée avec information. Ou même qui t'a gagné un artiste, ou même qui t'a gagné, quel que soit artiste ou gagnant, les pas obligés un artiste qui peut chanter. Il doit un artiste, peintre, ouais, quelque chose à faire. Mais nous connaissons, c'est causerie. Dans le show Bato, Bato pas un show pour pas gagner rien dans la donne. Nous connaissons ça. Ce qui fait donc, mes amis, chose ça, nous pas être avec. Semaine dernière, c'est pas des gens qui relèvent moi, ils ont aimé show, ils ont même passé chaque jour. Moi, je dis nous, merci beaucoup. Nous ne pouvons pas passer chaque jour. Show, c'est chaque dimanche avec chaque vendredi. 8h dimanche, 8h vendredi, 8h PM. Alors, c'est le ça, on a joué par la même bateau. Eh bien, je dis, on a pu voir une grosse actrice devant Père éternel. Comme on dit nous allons c'est Mona pas nous. Nous allons Mona, t'as comme ça, n'a pas de nous, Mona va dire nous côté t'as comme ça. Voilà, eh bien, c'est ça, j'aime dire nous allons Mona dans le show. Et puis, c'est sûr, nous sommes capables de l'autre artiste encore. Peut-être pour semaine prochaine, nous allons l'autre gros artiste dans Télémarcheuse. Nous connaissons Noël là pas avancé, Télémarcheuse toujours organisé, on t'y fait dans Télémarcheuse là, mais l'année dernière, nous avons fait fête là, nous avons campé dehors, qui n'ont pas de rentrer. Sauf qu'on est en Télémarcheuse a décidé pour nous faire fête là, dans un bel nightclub, Casa Champêtre, et d'après ça m'apprend, nous sommes capables de gagner Zinglin. Zinglin année ça, 23 décembre, pour faire Télémarcheuse. L'année passée, nous avons fait l'île, monde pas de rentrer, nous avons sorti pour Mounio, parce que le local n'est pas grand, mais année ça, nous avons fait un bail plus grandiose dans Casa Champêtre. Alors, suivez l'information, et à partir de semaine ça, suivez Télémarcheuse, nous allons connaître exactement date là c'est le 23 décembre. Commencez à préparer pour venir supporter Télémarcheuse, parce que la télévision, c'est pas lié. Parce que c'est comme ça que nous avons toujours fait pendant 2 ans que ce passé là, nous organisé des activités qui pour aider Télémarcheuse à grandir. Ouais. Ce qui fait donc, mes amis, commencez à préparer nous, nous avons bien VIP, nous avons bien ticket, régulier ticket, et puis pour venir célébrer avec Télémarcheuse, 3 ans Télémarcheuse, en décembre, 23 décembre, alors prélude à la Noël, eh bien, c'est Télémarcheuse. Et puis, il faut me dire nous tout, et nous connaissons que 25 décembre, il y a un business qui est toujours dans nos cadeaux pour nous faire Timoun. Et nous avons année ça tout. Et bien, ou même qui t'a aimé un cadeau avec Timoun, et bien, relève-moi dans 786 230 01 66. 786 230 01 66. Et nous besoin de réclame, nous trouvons bien réclame, ou même qui a un business qui t'a aimé, nous réclame, et bien, videz réclame sur Télémarcheuse. D'ailleurs, ouais, programmation télévision, nous, pas même besoin de tout qui soit ouais. Ok, à dire qu'ils sont ouais. Eh bien, les gens qui ratent, on va rentrer les Télémarcheuse, on rate net. Ok, so, au compte proverbe là, c'est mettez tes boutons sous Télémarcheuse et puis rachez les boutons, voyez-nous de l'autre côté, pour ne pas prendre notre Chanel. Eh bien, Télémarcheuse, c'est pas lié. Eh bien, avant d'aller, nous connaissons Télémarcheuse qui font un bel reportage, que notre mamie t'a invité nous, et t'es invité nous vendredi qui se passe là, et t'es belle bagaille, côté que nous t'es a plein pour Bill de l'eau, Bill lumière, eh bien, ils ont invité nous dans une presse conférence que côté toute communauté est venue, ni blanc, ni l'autre nation haïtien, nous étions manqué haïtien, mais nous étions plus blanc qu'haïtien, et nous avons remarqué tout est manqué un peu l'autre média tout. C'était Télémarcheuse ensemble avec l'autre média qui était là ensemble avec nous. Alors, dans ce sens ça, nous allons faire vivre exactement qui ça qui était passé l'en fait là, et pour capable ouais, et parfaitement excusez, c'était un meeting qui t'a fait, un meeting communautaire qui t'a fait, on t'a un meeting et pour communautaire, on a fait Bildo dans notre Miami. Et jusqu'à avant de quitter nous avec le portail ça, m'a fait nous tout connaître, et jour 23 décembre, Wedding Day, movie, mon a demandé, nous connaissons les derniers movie Bato qui fait, mon a demandé, eh bien, la fête 23 décembre, on a bien chance pour nous filmer ça tout, ensemble avec, c'est possible, avec les Anglais, jamais on a confirmé pour vous, pour ce maintenant, comment, qui est l'autre artiste encore qui pourra le gagner. Bye bye, c'est là, m'a prêté avec nous, pas déplacé, toujours suivre Bato par la veille. Je dis à nous, ce médecin, nous, gros artiste là, mais nous, eh bien, Taleb nous allons à l'Ampalavem pour vendredi soir à 8h PM et dimanche 8h PM. Bye bye. I love you. Je quitte nous avec petit reportage ça. Nous t'ai fait depuis dans son kiss, la 13e avenue 125. Bye bye.
right, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Vanessa Joseph, and I'm your elected city clerk. It is definitely a pleasure for us to have you here in this community forum that we're hosting right here in District 4 in the Sunkist Grove Community Center. So I want to say a special welcome to our Sunkist Grove neighbors, and thank you so much for your engagement and for being a part of this. We had the idea to have a community forum because I think that there were a lot of questions, especially during the pandemic, because a lot of us kind of felt disconnected, right, from our communities. And so we wanted to make sure that we had a forum that we would be able to just have some honest conversations with each other. You would learn from the departments that are reflected here, learn from me as well, but then we can also learn from you, learn some of the things that you've been thinking about, things that maybe you have more in mind. And so with that being said, we'll just have some housekeeping to do in terms of figuring out, number one, are we going, does everybody feel comfortable if we speak in English the entire time? Or would we like some translation if possible? So is English okay for everyone? Okay, so then I'm going to have my colleague Roberto assist us with some translation in Creole because I believe that that's a language need that we'll have. In addition to that, Summer Jones in the back will have with her some pens and some Post-it notes in case you have any questions or thoughts that you need to write down so you don't forget. Just flag her and she'll be around here with the Post-it notes and the pens. And also, they'll be taking notes on things that come up, things that are raised in this, so that we can make sure that we take it back to administration, take it back to the folks who are working on your behalf within the city.
Bonsoir tout le monde, et moi c'est Roberto Laurival, je travaille dans l'office de City Club là. Bon, et je vais traduire mot à mot tout ça qui dit, même pour l'essentiel de ça qui dit, parce que nous te promettons que nous avons gagné une traduction en créole, en espagnol, de fois ça. Donc tout le monde est impliqué.
Thank you. So with that being said, I think what we'll do is start off by talking about what everyone here does. So I will actually take a seat and I will tell you a little bit about the Office of the City Clerk. The Office of the City Clerk, which I head, Summer Jones is our Assistant City Clerk. We have a Deputy City Clerk in the office as well. Roberto is a constituent aide. All of us work together to make sure that residents feel connected to their local government.
Nous allons parler là, nous allons dire qui ça plus ou moins chaque monde fait. Et c'est Vanessa Joseph, c'est City Clerk élu. Et puis Summer Jones qui c'est assistant City Clerk. Et puis moi-même, Roberto, son constituant aide. Bon, là vous faites point avec moi.
And amongst the services that we provide to make sure that you all feel connected to the government is receiving public comment, right? And part of receiving public comment is really geared towards making sure that when there's an event, or I'm sorry, a council meeting, you all are able to participate and are able to have your voices heard and give some of your thoughts on how you believe this item should go or how the council should pass on it.
Was this perfect? Keep going. Yeah, keep going. Keep going. Yeah.
And then in addition to that, one of the things that we do that constituents are probably most aware of is that we process passports. We also help folks get registered to vote. We do lobbyist registrations and a host of other services really geared towards making sure that you feel included in your local government.
Je ne sais pas que le conseil de l'officier des clercs, on sait que c'est seulement il travaille, j'ai des questions meeting, mais l'officier des clercs là, il fait passeport, il détourne enregistrer l'obéissance et nous besoin assurer nous complainte quel que soit et complainte que vous gagnez pour capable de lancer l'officier des clercs.
So today I would like you to feel comfortable after we've already introduced each department that's present here. I want you to feel extremely comfortable to share some of your thoughts and reflections on things that the city can be doing better, things that you believe may be necessary to start implementing or at least looking at, exploring, things that are maybe some changes that you would like to see reflected, and we'll go from there.
Je vais présenter tout le monde là, donc à bientôt à l'aise pour partager ça qu'on a tout. Donc, on va garder la main que si c'est à faire pipi, donc à l'aise pour pouvoir partager avec nous.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rasha Kamo. I'm the Executive Director of the North Miami CRA, and I don't need any translation. Thank you very much. Bonsoir tout le monde. Je suis Rasha Kamo. Je suis directrice générale pour Community Redevelopment Agency, Ville de North Miami. My responsibility is to help the community by providing grants and programs to help either through residential rehab programs, business development, and also large-scale development. Et responsabilité, c'est pour aider les communautés dans la ville de Miami à travers le programme que nous créons, nous aider les GICAI, résidentiels, nous aider les business, et nous préparer les business, nous bailler fonds pour venir avec nouveaux business dans la communauté, et nous aider dans le développement, pour faire un nouveau appartement avec nouveaux business dans la communauté.
Good evening, everyone. Some of you already know me. My name is Beverly Hilton. I'm not here in an official capacity. I was just here to listen to the workshop, but I work with the police department. I'm the Crime Watch Coordinator. If I haven't already done so, you'll see me knocking on your door for crime prevention. What we do is go out and educate the community about safety, and actually, this started by our chief, the greatest chief in the world, I tell you, Larry Jariga, the best chief you'll ever have. So he started the community policing, knocking on door program. So again, I'm here to answer any question regarding crime prevention. I do everything actually. Any question you have, if I don't have the answer, I will find the answer.
Bonsoir tout le monde, moi c'est Beverly. Peut-être un peu dans nous qui font moins parce que nous frappé dans notre nous et nous allons frapper dans notre nous. Et moi je travaille avec la police et le département dans notre Miami et ça nous capable de poser n'importe quelle question qui a rapport avec la prévention crime qui a fait dans la ville. Donc et c'est là que moi je travaille tout près avec le chef police, c'est Larry Jariga, c'est un bon chef de police.
And I'm waiting on my good friend, a neighbor who started Crime Watch with me, Jocelyn Nelson, to teach me Creole, so I don't have to get translation. Jocelyn, we started the nonprofit in 2002, and she's been with us ever since. And I want to thank all my neighbors who came out this evening. Over here, we have Bernadette, Jocelyn, we have Miss Prince, who is new to our community. Thank you for coming out. Fatima over there, thank you for coming out. Where's Gerard? Gerard over here, and I do have some more people coming out, so thank you. Thank you, Gio. I didn't know you were going to come.
Chacun a salutation par eux. Justine Nelson, Otadeo Degajo, après Madame le Créole que nous.
Good evening. As Madam City Clerk said, I'm the other Vanessa. Vanessa Willis with the Code Compliance Department. And there is a table in the back where we have different flyers, sanitizers, pens, things that you can take back home with you to read over. What our department is responsible for is patrolling the city in order to try to ensure that we have a beautiful city to live in. So oftentimes you'll see us knocking at your door, asking you to cut your grass, to put a little paint, to maybe put your house numbers there. What it actually does is not to harass you all, but to actually increase your property values and give you a better place that you can be proud to live in. So any questions that you would have for me, feel free to ask those questions. Again, Vanessa Willis from the Code Compliance Department.
Merci Vanessa Willis, moi avec le département Code Compliance. Et on est capable toujours voir que le Code Compliance elle a fait patrouille dans la ville là. Et c'est pour nous capables assurer que tout bagage a passé bien, a marché bien dans la ville. On est capable de venir voir que nous avons demandé pour capable couper celle devant la carrière, nous avons demandé pour mettre le numéro. Donc c'est pas on a de la nous avons besoin d'assurer que nous avons une belle ville. Donc il y a quelques flyers derrière. et sur quelques bagages, on est de ça que nous faisons. Donc, moi là, pour capable de poser n'importe quelle question.
Awesome. So periodically we'll take little breaks just to be able to hear from you so that it's not just us talking to you. And so I'll start now by asking whether there are some questions that anyone may have. And salutations spéciales to Miss Gypsy Metalis. Thank you so much for coming. Because there are some resources that Samba is able to provide, and I would love for you to speak on those. So, Roberto, if you don't mind bringing the mic over to her so that we can talk about those services.
Exactement. De temps en temps, nous allons prendre quelques pauses et vous pouvez être capable d'échanger. Et puis, Edouard, nous allons commencer avec quelques questions que nous avons adressées.
Merci, Roberto. Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure and an honor to show up for North Miami, show up for each and every one of us who live, work, and play in this community. I serve as the executive director of SANCA, Haitian Legal Center, and our center offers a number of free services, ranging from tax preparation to employment to assistance with health insurance enrollment. This is open enrollment for Obamacare and for Medicare for those of you who are already eligible. So you can come to us for those kinds of support, plus safety net benefits, mental health counseling, citizenship. These days we're heavily involved, along with the city of North Miami, and TPS support for those members of our community who need that assistance. So if you know of someone who needs this, please urge them to check out or come to us for additional information such that we might help them. So we'll be here, Ginia and I will be here. We'll set up in a corner somewhere, provide you with information should you need it. But just know that North Miami is our home, as well as the place where we work. And so we're your neighbors, and we're here for you with anything you might need. Thank you very much for the opportunity to say hello and just say a few words about something.
En créole tout. Pas de problème. Merci Roberto. Et encore une fois, Gypsy Métébus, moi c'est directrice SANCA, Haitian Neighborhood Center, une organisation à but non lucratif qui est localisée dans la ville de Miami. Donc ça veut dire que c'est là que lié, c'est voisin nous lié. Nous travaillons avec la communauté de Miami et nous là pour offrir tout conseil de service que la communauté a besoin, qui sortit de préparation de taxes jusqu'à aider les besoins de travail, chercher du travail, et nous faire une application pour nous qui ont besoin de citizenship, nous allons chercher l'assurance, soit Medicaid, KidCare ou bien Medicare. Ces jours-ci, comme nous avons une période d'inscription ouverte pour programme assurance qui est Medicare et Obamacare, nous l'avons tout pour servir nous, et puis nous l'avons comme source, comme ressources et sources d'information pour tout ça qui concerne nous. Que c'est Timoun le à l'école, que sont informations que nous avons qui nous pour faire, ou bien moun qui vraiment, je n'ai jamais besoin de faire application TPS, ou bien moun qui a besoin de notre service légal, et passer côté nous, et nous là, nous avons une équipe solide qui va être service santé mentale, qui est des avec Timoun, qui, enfin, nous dégageons pour assurer nous que nous baillons comme nous essayons, toute assistance et tout support, tout accompagnement que nous avons besoin. Donc, nous sommes restrictions, bon, à côté, qui t'aime dire en face de l'aubergiste. Merci.
Thank you to those of you who just joined us. Please feel free to sit up front because there's gifts. There's gifts in the front. So definitely thank you all so much. For those who just joined us, once again, my name is Vanessa Joseph, the elected city clerk for the city of North Miami. So at this time, I wanted to open it up to the floor, ask if anybody has any questions so far or any issues that they wanted to bring up now before we go into a little bit more detail with the department.
Encore si Vanessa Joseph, city clerk est élu. Avant même que nous entrions dans le détail, donc si on a une question à nous poser avant même que nous commençons. Donc apparemment, monsieur, il y a une question. Do you have a question?
Bonsoir tout le monde. Non, moi c'est Jean-Pierre Sylvestre. Moi j'ai 23 ans pour m'habiter. Madame Justine, depuis la question, ça a parlé de lui-même pour nous faire une vidéo. Nous avons ça dans le site de notre ami. Nous avons fait une vidéo, il n'y a pas de travail. Et puis, nous avons un site qui m'a aidé. Nous avons pour capable de venir papier travail. Là, nous avons une citizen, c'est ce qui a même pas bénéficié du travail. Et après, il y a une résidence, il y a une citizen. Et puis, c'est ce qui a même pas bénéficié vers le poste candidat. Il y a une opportunité pour compter pour eux. Puis, nous sentons qu'il y a aidé parce qu'ils ont fait une réunion, il n'y a pas de travail, il n'y a pas de papier. Et puis, nous avons aussi à penser avec la question ça pour aider nous qui fait une réunion.
So essentially what was said is that Merci was that with the influx of arrivals, recent arrivals from specifically the border is the community that he's talking about. So folks who are recent arrivals to the United States and those of them who are specifically living in the city of North Miami, he believes that the city of North Miami should do something to assist them, maybe help them in some capacity, connecting them to the resources that they need to eventually then one day become U.S. citizens, which will be a benefit to the entire city of North Miami. Merci à vous pour l'explication. Does anybody else have any questions?
No, you want this one, okay.
Service de contrôle qui est situé côté de la mairie, côté de l'autorité. Garbage, Kenyo, il y a un qui est depuis lundi jusqu'à l'autre semaine. Alia, il y a un qui sont sortis, Fatra, monter même hauteur. Fil courant, monter même hauteur. Et si tu as mis pression sur moi, madame et monsieur, vous avez dit ça, pour m'obliger à prêter l'argent, pour me faire jouer la carrière. Parce qu'il y a 3 machines, il y a un petit côté, il y a un paquet sous Z là. Si tu as mis pression sur moi, tu peux violer les lois, tandis que c'est moi qui paye là, si tu fais gazon, c'est pour payer, gazon tout pareil. Tandis que c'est sous la rue à Amérique. Quand il est sous côté maintenant, actuellement, par contre, si c'est un hôtel, si c'est un hôtel, qui ça nous fait la gamme? Cocaïne, on va aller la caille. Il y a fumé, entrée exactement sur la fenêtre chez moi exactement, notre porte qui va être dans la fenêtre, cuisine, au côté, il y a fumé. M'obliger à prêter l'argent pour garder la fenêtre. C'est là, qui est aidé pour jouer et permis de facile pour lever le parce que l'homme couché sur la bonne pour dominer tout ça qui a passé dans la chambre. Je m'a demandé est-ce que même si même service a été qu'on baille longtemps, pour qui ça fait des services encore? Parce que le monde a fait, et Katia a fait le monde, c'est le monde qui fait Katia. Et c'est sur la rue où on est. Merci.
Excusez. L'on parle de service, on parle de service pour ranger Kainan ou bien?
Non, on va parler de
Juste pour.
service que je te porter plus attention.
Okay. So this is a code enforcement issue. I know that you understand some Creole. Yeah. Donc juste pour nous connaître, il pas haïtien, mais après tout ça que il fait le travail dans le city, il peut quelques mots. So essentially, you know, she has a code compliance issue where she feels that she's maintaining her home, but you know, it's not something that apparently everybody's doing, and also that initially one of the things she mentioned was that folks are leaving their garbage cans out during the entire week. The garbage isn't being picked up, I guess, on time either, and that there's like overgrown weeds, and she had to actually take out money to redo her own driveway to take care of it.
Thank you for giving us your concerns. What I would like for you to do to help us be on the right, that we end up on the right street, If you can give us like your street and the avenues where this is occurring, what I can do is I can let the zone officer know that these things are occurring.
Ok,
Actuellement, là, il faut maintenant, il est mal dit cette machine parce que pas de tout à tout.
ok, mettez adresse ou, mettez-nous avec adresse ou.
Yeah, I'm trying to address them each one at a time, because she has many.
Yeah.
So, with regards to the garbage, if she lets us know, because, you know, each officer has a designated day that their garbage, should be put to curbside if it's bulk pickup. There are certain days that they're supposed to, like Monday over here is the bulk pickup day. If it's their regular garbage, we have the flyers in the back to let them know, hey, today is your garbage day, you pull your cans out, and at the end of the day, those cans should be brought back onto the property. If that is not happening in that area, if she gives us that information, we can make sure that the officer goes by there to patrol that area more consistently. Unfortunately, the zones are quite large, so we may miss a couple of streets, but usually each day, they're going up and down each street to try to curtail that issue. The other issue was regarding the grass.
I used to park my car on my property.
Yes, ma'am.
Beside me. Now I saw people with 6 cars parking there.
Okay. Okay, so let me explain that, and that happens to me. I am a code officer, so I am out patrolling as well on my area on the northeast side. So what normally happens is, and maybe somebody in here can attest to it as well, oftentimes we've already cited people and they elected not to comply. So at that point, what normally happens is we'll send them to court. You will receive a notice to say that you are expected to show up in court before the judge. The judge will usually tell you, hey, you have 30 days in order to figure out what you're going to do on your property. Are you going to install a driveway, or are you going to start putting your cars out on the outer area, the swell area of your home? It's up to the homeowner. Those people that you see in some instances, they have been cited, they've been to court, and they have decided that they're not going to comply, and that they don't care whether or not they're running fines at sometimes $250 per day. So those fines continue to accumulate until they have come into compliance. And oftentimes it is a cat and mouse game where we'll come and they'll say, oh no, I'm in compliance, I'm not parking on the grass anymore. And then 3 days later you see the same car. So it is a back and forth process. And in the future what you will see, because the ordinance states that if you are a repeat violator, those fines and liens that those people are getting is going to increase. So bear with us for a moment. I know it's uncomfortable to see it, and it is disheartening when you've done your part and your neighbor is not. But again, if you give us the certain locations, and you can just drive by and say, okay, you know what, between 8th Avenue and 10th Avenue on 127th Street, this is a constant problem. And oftentimes you'll find that we've already cited those people, so we can give you that information as well. And I think that would make you feel a little bit better and feel comfortable that we are doing, our jobs.
Ok, n'a fait question d'écoute, on va aller exactement ça que nous avons besoin de dire. Alors pour nous avoir une idée de ça parler là, il y a un certain monde, madame, vous avez posé des questions concernant le monde qui parle devant la cahier, dans l'espace parking. Donc, Vanessa dit le city, il fait un payer amende qui allait jusqu'à $200. Nous demandons pour nous aller dans le côte même pour y avoir 30 jours d'arrivée dans le côte. Bon, nous continuons à faire. Mais ou même, alors on va essayer de couper pour nous, mais ou même, on est capable toujours faire code compliance, faire si on connaît ça. Le qui va comme ça qui passe, on est qui va sous zeb devant la caillou, on est capable toujours faire si ça qu'on même si on pas adresse exactement, le travail plus ou moins dit mais qui côté lié et puis lui-même il est capable de faire un travail les gens peuvent faire. Okay. Donc, on a quelques questions et puis nous allons aller direct pour que nous soyons capables de plus de monde avant même que nous entrions dans ça.
So what was just said is that we're going to condense the questions to be very spot on to the issue that you want to address.
And before
Ma'am, before you speak, let me just say this also. In the back for you guys, there are these little refrigerator magnets, and this is information that can tell you exactly where to send your emails. If you have a complaint, you can send them to our office, codecomplaints@northmiamifl.gov. There's also the MyNomi app where you can go online if you want to, you feel comfortable. Don't put yourself in a compromising position. But if you feel comfortable snapping a picture of a neighbor's yard and sending that, you can do that as well. So there's so many different ways that you can let us know. You don't always have to pick up the phone. You can send an email and let us know exactly where these things are taking place. And we will address it.
So how many times these owners will be cited? Is it 4 times, 20 times, 40 times? Or do you have something that you could take a tow truck for them to take it to the tollway zone and then, you know, for them to pay the money? Because you could be citing me for $4,000, $10,000. And then if you continue in doing something that the city is not really serious about what's going on. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we need a solution.
So let me speak to two different things. If the vehicles are on the right-of-way, which is the swell area, that area on the opposite side, your property is here, the sidewalk is here, and this area is the swell area, right? If the cars are there, what you normally see, and you probably see them when you're driving the neighborhood, you'll see a placard. There's a bright red sticker that we place on the car, and we tell them, listen, you have 48 hours in order to remove that vehicle. If the vehicle is not removed, and most times we also give them a parking ticket. If there's, if the tag is not valid, or maybe there's no tag at all, if those vehicles are on the right-of-way, we placard those vehicles. 48 hours, those cars need to be removed. If they're not removed, we call the police, we have them assist us and remove those cars from the right-of-way. On private property, it's a little more intricate because we face liability issues if we were to come and just drag your car off of your property. So what is happening, and unfortunately we're in kind of a limbo area because we're getting new software, so tickets are not being issued as they once were. But we're gonna get to that. Probably within the next, I'm thinking 30 or 60 days, at least by the new year. What you will experience, and all of this is in the ordinance, in the city's ordinance, where, say I came to your house, and I talked to you about parking on the front lawn, and you said, okay ma'am, not a problem, I'm gonna move the vehicle. 1 month later, we're back again talking to you about the same thing. Now we're gonna take him to court. Once we take him to court, not you per se, we would never do anything like that. But, you know, we would take the homeowner to court and we would say, listen, we understand that you came into compliance, because by then they've moved the cars. This is a game, we do it every month, you know? So by then you move your car, you say, no, Your Honor, I'm in compliance, here's my photo, I'm not parking my car on the front lawn. Okay, no problem. But we are gonna adjudicate you as guilty. So any further occurrences of this same thing, now you're a repeat violator. So now we're not citing you for $250, we're citing you at $500. And it goes on and on. So each time that they get a repeat violator, and at some point, you know, the fines and liens are already accumulating on that property. When you get ready to go and you do a refinance, or you're trying to maybe take out the equity on your home, that's when it's gonna make the difference. You know, unfortunately, we can't go onto a person's property right now and just remove the vehicle, but we are working on some new ideas in order to try to curtail that. You know, unfortunately, you know, we don't live in a world where, you know, I can come and knock on your door and say, hey, you know what, if you need some help, can I help you out? You know, I understand you got like 6 cars on your property. We're not in that world at this moment, but we are trying to work in order to, you know, make North Miami look a lot better than it does right now.
C'est l'information et c'est sûr que nous remplir là-dedans, mais l'essentiel pour nous connaître que Code Compliance travaille sur le problème que madame a laissé, qui c'est le monde qui a parqué sur un zèbre. Donc, ça va arriver que Et si tu as mené au monde dans côte, ok, et on a fait, refait encore, mais il faut reconnaître que le département de compliance continue à travailler pour que ça lui-même est capable de résoudre. C'est dans 30 à 60 jours, vous pouvez peut-être voir que le département de compliance lui-même il fait plus dans ça. Bon, l'important pour vous-même, en tant que résident, c'est que vous ça pour toujours rapporter au Vice City. Donc, plus ou moins, dire maintenant quelle adresse ça fait, et puis, et si c'est lui-même, la capable, et, correspondant, la capable, et adresser les problèmes ça. Donc, on apprend deux,
Any other
three more.
things?
Yeah, we have three.
Miss Judy
Is
Brown
that-
had her hand
Yeah,
up as
okay.
well. If you,
Right.
domicile, please.
Good evening. My question is concerning the economic development, and CRA money and how it's been spent. I've lived in this community almost 50 years, and nothing never changes as far as development. Recently, CRA has spent large amounts of money on the Red Garden on 7th Avenue. This is a disgrace to our community. There's nothing there. They spent money, nothing happened. I don't know anything of any project where CRA money has been spent where the community has benefited from it. We still need restrooms at Pepper Park. Kids, we have large function, urinating and, cars open, they're urinating after the event. You walk around the park and you can actually smell the urine. It is sad to say the 7th Avenue hasn't changed. Yeah, all of our money goes to Biscayne. That's where we have the shop. There's nothing in our community, nothing is being bought. I go to city meetings and I speak out. It's always 5 and 4. We never get anything done. So CRA money, how can we get some CRA money spent in District 4 where we can actually see in the residents of our district can see what's going on with that, because it's supposed to be community development. Would you please tell me what has been developed in District 4 from our CRA money that we can benefit from?
Thank you for the question, Ms. Brown. Well, for District 4, first of all, the CRA covers about 60% of the city's geography. So we're west of Biscayne Boulevard. We cover from Biscayne Boulevard to the city limits. For District 4, most recently, the Sasso Pool facade, that was a CRA project that was done. Through the city's housing division, we funded the single-family rehab program where we funded renovations for 78 homes, primarily in District 4. 78. In terms of the Red Garden, this was a decision that was made by the CRA board, which is really the mayor and council. It was an economic development plan that they had to revitalize that lot. As you recall, it was a code enforcement nightmare, and it was abandoned for a while, and that was the idea that they had. Unfortunately, the CRA also, you said we spent a lot of money. Just to be clear, we spent $362,000 to renovate the site and prep it and prepare it for, it was supposed to be a food truck incubator. Unfortunately, COVID happened, because right after the Super Bowl event, COVID happened, and it stopped. The property is leased by the city of North Miami, so unfortunately, we do not have a say or control or how it is run or operated. I know they're working with an operator to do something, but it is out of the CRA's hands. In terms of the commercial corridor, a few things that we did. During COVID, we spent a lot of money to keep businesses along the major corridors open during COVID-19. We paid rent, utilities, payroll for a lot of those businesses that were not able to work, operate properly during COVID-19. So we did spend quite a bit of funds on that. In addition to that, we do provide funds for rehab and business attractions along the major corridors. I can list a few of the businesses that benefited from it, and we also have an application wait list right now for those businesses. I think one of the things that people, when they talk about Northwest 7th Avenue, is they want to see some kind of large-scale development happen so it can trigger more development and interest. And I think that's where we are right now, and that's where we're in discussion. At the last CRA board meeting, the board approved and allowed us, is allowing the CRA to focus on specific acquisition of properties along the corridor so we can start redeveloping projects. They hadn't done that before. This is the first time that they're allowing us to actually go into the corridor on Northwest 7th Avenue and to acquire property and to prepare for redevelopment. But however, I'd like to say that, I know you're asking about District 4, but work that we do is along all the corridors, District 2, 3, 4, and District 1 as well.
But I think one of the things that I'm hearing is maybe, is there an opportunity, Rasha, for when it comes to economic development, for there to be ways to facilitate maybe more community input and developing creative ways to solicit this information so that it can be part of the considerations that the CRA board is making and the CRA advisory committee is making vis-a-vis economic development in District 4 or any other district?
Definitely. I know Ms. Brown mentioned the city council. We do not, the CRA, we're a separate government entity, so we operate in a different schedule, a different schedule. Our advisory committee meets every first Monday of the month at 6:30, and we also need advisory members to be appointed. So I would encourage you, if you have the ability to participate, to be on those committees, because that's where you provide your input, you help us guide, and that information is given to the CRA board, again, which is the mayor and council. The CRA board meeting is every second Tuesday at 5:30. The only people that usually show up to these meetings are applicants for a grant. But I wish I had residents and other community people coming and to provide comments and information. And we do, Madam.
So I think you make a great point, and I think that maybe this is somewhere that I can be helpful, right? Making it easier for folks to know when these meetings are happening. And so I'm definitely going to work on that in terms of making sure that it's broadly advertised, right, when these meetings are happening. And also wanting to make sure that, if folks aren't on the city's mailing list, right, the email list, that's a really important tool because that's where a lot of this information is shared, and it's also on the website. And so maybe we can talk about whether you're not, for some reason, not receiving these emails, or if they're going to the spam box or something.
Or how to use the website, how to find it.
The website, is a beast of its own, and that's again like a very helpful comment in terms of what needs to be fixed. Yes, Madam.
Depuis mon candidat, premier programme de ministre de Ville programme téléphone, ville programme de précarité de l'intérieur. Nous avons appelé ville combien c'est dans une année on monte pour ville et puis dans les villes programme monter. Moi-même, je devons faire 3 jours pour capter quelle ville pour y avoir un travail et là, nous avons commencé à travailler à 2,50 $ de travail. Ça veut dire ma bonne italien. J'ai deux gros problèmes. J'ai un bureau. Et puis, nous avons une raison que vous mettez, il n'y a pas de raison. C'est donc pour son paquet. Vieux, c'était horrible. M'a plaidé payer pour que moi, la semaine à faire. Longtemps, nous devons faire pour nous à faire. Nous devons couper le gazon, on est dans la cour. $20. Quand on a payé $60, maintenant on a fait passer une deux salles. Ma vie est en 125 et puis une bonne en 126. Par contre, qui ça veut faire gazon? Il va gazon. Si tu as un bel gazon, on a dit au moins, il t'a fait un bel. Mais bon gazon, vous comprenez, montrer au monde qui t'a en responsabilité, montrer, on y a pas. Et puis, bon pied bois. Deux bois. Oui, qui rentre dans la cour. Moi, je registre dans ma gueule, parce que chaque fois que je fais c'est tellement bon. Et puis, on a des problèmes dans le dos, ma carrière. Moi, je peux couper de branche au moins qui rentre dans la cour. Moi, qui est complet. Pas dans le esprit. Je ne sais pas ça.
So she brought up essentially issues with the water bill and why it's consistently going up. Unfortunately, it's not a representative from the finance department who would be able to address that concern. And so unfortunately, we can't address that at this moment, but it's definitely something that I'm going to bring back. But in addition to that, she brought up, and I think this is maybe a code issue, or maybe you'll have some ideas on things that can be done, because she's a woman of a certain age, weeds are growing, she can't pull the weeds out herself, she has to pay for that. And then on top of that, there's a tree by her home and the branches are coming in. Wanting to, I think there's a desire to have some assistance with at least cutting the portion that comes into her home or over her home. So I'm not sure if that's something that you all have programs for, if there's a desire, because I've also heard this from other people in terms of, being older and maybe not working and unable to really care for certain, because it's in the right of way or because it's around their property, they have to take care of it. So whether there are programs maybe for this population of folks who may not be able to take care of it on their own.
Currently, we don't have anything in place in order to assist the residents. However, we are talking about getting a task force together when things are needed and we look at a person's situation to see if there's a way that we can get together to better assist them. So that would mean your code officers would come to your house and help out with some of the things there at the home. And of course, if we can get other entities to come in and help us out, that would be something that we would be looking into. The only thing that is kind of in limbo at this moment is the legality. Again, we're coming onto your property, and if anything goes awry, something goes wrong, God forbid, but something goes wrong, we would have to be able to remove ourselves as well as the city from any liabilities. So those things are still in the works, but we have talked about certain issues where we have people, like you say, of a certain age, or maybe where they're not physically capable to do these things on their own, to where we can come in and dedicate maybe a weekend or a couple of weekends in order to bring that home up to par. So it is something that we have discussed departmentally that we're looking into doing. Also, because I know I was over there for a little bit, housing and social services may be able to assist with your roof. I'm not sure if she's saying that the trees are growing into the roof area. Okay, it's just overgrowth. Okay, yeah. So what we would probably do in that instance, if we can get clearance legally, is maybe try to see if there's some way parks can come in and help us out and get those things cut. But again, all of that has to go through our legal department to find out how we can remove ourselves from the liability. But we as code officers are, our heart goes out to some people, where you're sitting there, you don't want to keep beating the people, you want to be able to help them as well. So bear with us just a little longer, and please make sure that you give someone your address before you leave so that we can take a look and see if there's a way that we can help out. Yes, ma'am.
So we're not police, not sorti papier.
He'll give it to me, okay?
Thank you. Pratiquement, madame a déposé une question concernant le problème lié à la qualité en gros zèbre qui a grandi, il parlait de problème de l'eau et problème de l'eau. Ok, pas de solution. On est là, mais madame Palit, ça dit que c'est vrai qu'on a des instructions de programme qui est là pour nous qui dans l'âge. Ok, c'est pas un programme qu'on y a là pour nous qui dans l'âge, qui va faire travail ça pour couper zèbre, etc. Mais le gros monde qui a travaillé sur ça peut-être dans le week-end est capable d'aider, mais ce n'est pas un bagage qui est là déjà. Donc, on parle de numéro de téléphone, et puis on voit comment, par numéro de téléphone, adresse comment on est capable d'adresser cette situation.
And Rasha brought up a great point. I think that the city has the Keep North Miami Beautiful program, and so maybe there's some there's a way to reactivate that and maybe take it beyond just doing like painting projects, but also like helping people with their property maintenance, right? And so I would like to at this time welcome Councilman Alex Desilme, Councilman for District 4, just to say a few words.
Just a few words.
It's 7:02.
Good evening, everyone. I am so sorry that I am late, because as you all know, I usually not late. I'm usually on time here, like Jill. I want to say thank you so much, first and foremost, to Madam Clerk for not only for taking the initiative, but for working very, closely with my office to get this on the way. And we worked extremely hard. She worked extremely hard, and I kind of helped her to make sure that we do what we do to make sure this comes out. And I want to say thank you to everyone who showed up. Well, is this okay? Is this okay? All right, okay. I want to say thank you for everyone who's able to make it tonight. I was at a historical event, and again, I apologize that I started at 7. But again, I am here, and as always, and I see a lot of familiar faces. I see family, friends and family here. This might be better. Thank you. So I don't know what I missed. If you have any questions, as you know, my door is always open for you all. I am happy to answer any questions, Rasha. Tell them all the money that the CRA has.
Oh, we talked about it. So I see Gio's hand up.
Yes.
Roberto, do you have a mic?
Hello, I'm Gio.
I gotta try that.
So I'm Gio Darter. I actually live in District 2. District 3, and I have a foundation an arts foundation that I'm working close to Griffin Park. But when we came from Cuba, my first home, my parents' bought was 2 blocks down the street here on 124th and 12th. So I am also a 52-year resident of this district. So I usually come by here as a nostalgic trip to see the home my parents, actually my dad built. So I'm still very connected. And I will say this, that I've been going in the last 2.5 years, going to almost every meeting possible to really engage with my community, because I decided to build my foundation here and be part of North Miami again. But the only way you can do that is by being present and listening and sharing. And so that's what I've been doing. But I want to say at this moment, because I've been doing that, I realize that North Miami has an incredible outreach program, especially with its Haitian community and other immigrant communities here as well. And I'm impressed by that, because again, a lot of resources are given that I don't see in other cities. And I see them really trying to educate the community and also help, as we're doing here with the passport and every other service, to make us a citizen of this country in one way or another. I also want to say that District 4, I've seen what's going on, because I also partake in all the meetings online, especially it's been easy with COVID to do the Zoom, so you can actually do 4 meetings in one place and not worry about going from meeting to meeting. And I have been personally very involved with the CRA, what's going on with them, because I too am hoping to get some kind of support from them. But I also see what the work they've done. And one of the work that I've seen that they did that I was most impressed with was a 7th Avenue Corridor innovative project with FIU, which painted a picture of the future of this area. And I personally can tell you that North Miami is a large district, but let me tell you, this is the last frontier that you're living in. Your community, I know that your property values are going up. They're going to go up so high at this point, because it's coming from the downtown development this way. And believe it or not, you're sitting on properties that are very large with a lot of land in your property. And the homes are built in the 50s, and they're very good structured homes. This is your last frontier. So it takes a little time, but it is happening. And I'll tell you because I'm excited, and I've seen the changes on 7th Avenue. I have seen the mediums, how they become, and I think one of the most attractive mediums in Miami at this point with the natural vegetation. So they did an incredible job. So that's there to stay. That's other businesses that come in. So with that said, the only thing that I say about this district that I would like to see, because District 4 has the most incredible island parks. It's got the most island parks in the neighborhood that I know, because I used to ride from one park to the other on my bicycle. So I know what's going on. If I could see more lighting in these parks, that would make such a difference in the city of, or actually District 4. And that could be a beginning right there, because it brings security, safety, and it illuminates the rest of the beautiful houses that are surrounding each park. So.
Thank you so much, Gio. Roberto, can you bring the mic up?
Good evening. I wasn't going to say anything, but since this lady here brought it up, I figure I can say my piece as well. And if nobody's here to do anything or say anything, I know Ms. Joseph, and I'm happy Mr. Sumi come in, so he know he can get it.
To say something about it. But they're working on the chicken.
Yes.
Thank you. And special shout out to North Miami Police. Thank you so much. All right, so we've come to the conclusion. Is it a chicken issue?
The chicken issue too, but I have a different concern.
Okay, just a different concern quickly.
I mean, I think I've said the same thing on every meeting from 119 to 125. There's always fast speeding on that area. Why is it so hard to have speed hump on that area? I mean, why is it so hard? I mean, I've said this on every meeting. The lighting is not good, and they always speeding like crazy. Why can't we just put some, speed hump? I mean...
Yeah, I know. Send us an email. It starts with, sir, send us an email. It starts with an email, but it's not us. We have the money. That's one thing that we would love to do. But the county is the problem. As a matter of fact, on 120th and one and 16th Avenue, they had a circle because they were trying to get a circle as well. That looks really, really nice. And the county would not approve nothing. So once you send me an email, we have a transportation manager, we send it downtown. Of course, they're gonna deny it, and we kind of fight them. And we try to we did put some speed bump that was not, but the county had us remove, So we will start the process, and it's not us. We have the money, but they have to give us the permission. And more than likely, they go around and say no, no, no. But she had a thing that took 15 years, but I think that was our issue. And she's finally gonna get it, a traffic circle on 16th Avenue after 15 years before I got into office. But she was on me every year. Yes, Lord, yes she did. So we got that fixed. So if you send the email, it starts on the thing. But thank you again, Madam Clerk. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And
also, I'm collecting signatures for petition for speed bump. No. We have. Okay, we're taking them to the county. Yeah, and actually the county came to a meeting and asked us to collect signatures.
It's a process. They have to come out and they gotta put the sheets up.
Yeah.
thank you so much. So just a couple of quick announcements before we wrap up. We are at the end. And if you have any questions, please see Roberto or Summer Jones in the back. They'll take down whatever it is that you'd like to say or any questions that you may have. Again, if you have a public comment that you would like to make, even if it's not specific to an agenda item, Feel free to call 305-895-9803. Again, 305-895-9803. You can leave a voicemail message. It'll be transcribed. It's only up to 2 minutes, but I will transcribe it and read it at a city meeting. You can also send comments to public comments at northmiamifl.gov, which, again, it's really important that you all make your voices heard, and feel free to reach out to my office, 305-895-9817. In addition to that, I encourage everybody to be part of homeowners associations in your area. So if you are in District 4, there is Sunkiss Grove Homeowners Association. Please see Ms. Judy Brown so that you can get signed up and become part of it. And Ms. Beverly, I want you to also talk about the crime prevention work that you're doing and the help that you're trying to get for that.
So I wanted to say this. Okay, for crime prevention. I just want to let you know, everyone, mostly seniors, Social Security, they never call you. IRS doesn't call. But you'll get calls when people say they are from Social Security, they ask you for your information. Taboo. Don't ever give your information over the phone. If they call you and say they're from Social Security, thank you very much, you have my number already, why do I need to give it to you? Don't have a conversation with them. They're trying to get your information and they'll go into your account or they'll set up an account in their name.
Let me say that again.
Okay. And okay.
Yeah. So, il y a des gens qui conjoignent appel, mais soi-disant social sécurité, et qui dit qu'ils ont besoin d'informations, pas d'informations personnelles ou par téléphone, quel que soit le monde qui a pris l'autre, que c'est social, que c'est Western Union qu'on relève, IRS qu'on relève, soi-disant, c'est pas eux-mêmes. Si vous avez besoin, c'est pas comme ça, il y a pris l'autre pour des informations ou par téléphone, ok?
Even FPL.
Even FPL, Western Union, même Verizon, soi-disant Verizon, ça arrive pas par information personnelle ou de téléphone. Plutôt, juste prendre le numéro 1 et puis faire un autre check-in pour nécessaire.
Okay, so just one other thing. Okay, so my job is to come to your house, I'll knock on your door, get your information. What we do crime prevention. When I get all the names for the block that I'm working on, we'll come out and we'll have Miami Dade as a part of our group. We'll set up crime prevention. We'll have our zone officer for your area. They'll come out and talk to you about crime prevention. If your house is broken in, we'll talk about how to prevent it from happening again. And this is done right now. Right now we're doing teleconferences. We're not going out on the block because of COVID. Next week I have a meeting and maybe I can have you join us. We're doing 3 blocks and it's on the phone. You stay in your house. You call the number and we answer your question and we go through the process. I've done quite a bit in this area already, but I'm working on the east side right now, then I'll come back on this side. So you'll see me again, and I'll be calling you on you to make a commitment. So the next meeting, make a commitment to yourself to bring your neighbor, because we talk about the water bill, and I send out texts to residents, and the only people that were there, there probably only about 3 people at the meeting. So we need people to come out to meeting, okay? Thank you so much.
Awesome. And so I just want everybody to know that there is cooked food. All right. Yes, there's cooked food. And so please pick up a plate on your way out. And there's also some food packages. So if you or your neighbor may be in need of some bags of food, please feel free to get one as well on your way out. Thank you all so much for coming.
Eh bien voilà, amis téléspectateurs, bonsoir, bonjour, et ça dépend de côté où vous regardez Télémasters. Eh bien, nous connaissons depuis événement, n'importe côté lié, Télémasters toujours là. Eh bien, et pas comme si que pas un petit gens critiquer nous, puisque nous connaissons l'image là, et de temps en temps, t'as font souquer, eh bien, c'est pas grave. Eh bien, et comme vous regardez là, dans le background, on a là, nous sommes en direct là. L'Ansonquis, qui est en 13e avenue 125, en côté que nous avons couvrir. On a un meeting que notre ami City Clerk t'est organisé. Alors, mes amis, nous sommes ouais bagayo, eh bien, nous tellement que médias là, eh bien, pour bagayo t'est fait. Parce que les n'a parlé dans la radio ou bien dans la télévision, nous dit que il y a un problème dans la communauté, eh bien, nous avons manqué médias là. Alors, mes amis, et j'aime dire nous, c'est pour nous suivre Télémasters parce que nous connaissons ça, c'est channel information en façon que ou même pour capable informer et surtout des sacs qui passent à là en pile information, monde qui a un problème à caillou, monde qui a un problème à bill, de l'eau qui a monté, etc. Eh bien, c'est ça. Eh bien, c'est là m'a prêté avec nous un petit spécial reportage ça, Télémasters, t'es porté pour sur channel Pola, channel 38.3, nous sur Roku. Nous sur Facebook, nous sur téléphone, nous tout côté Télémasters Barrio. Eh bien, c'était Bato, frère qui était live dans Son Kiss Center depuis notre Miami. À vous.